Welcome everyone to another episode of Rooftop Perspectives. It's good to be back. We're back on YouTube, but again, I want to say that YouTube is only to meet my family there, those who we know and we're connected to, and to those who we don't know yet, so we can bring them on over to LanceScurv.com. Remember, I'm going to say it again like a commercial. Whenever you don't see us on social media or YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, whenever we're wiped off, and it's going to happen again, you can always come on over to LanceScurv.com and get the creations of that particular day, okay? We don't wait because YouTube shut us down. We continue to do this every day regardless. And again, there's going to be more varied content there. We've been working on the site really great, really hard. Now, I hope this microphone, this shotgun microphone, picks up my voice because the wind is like really heavy up here and it's beautiful. The sun, there's a little cloud that's going to jump in front of it and make it dark again for a little while, darker. But the sun is at the right angle. I feel real good. And you know, the funny thing is I thought I was going to be like a little too tired to come up here, which I never really am, but I was really beat looking, and I still feel like I'm beat looking just because of the way I feel, because I probably got like 1 hour of sleep last night. I had to get up and do something important and continue my little project or little projects that we're doing, otherwise the things online. And so that's straight. We came back with our first show about Malika Shabazz and her untimely passing. Brother Malik Aziz came in and he really broke things down about Malcolm X and our black movement, the black struggle, the black revolution. And there's a piece of roofing over there. As the wind blows, it may make some noise, and I don't think it's that bad. So I'm going to ignore it. This is life. We have noises around us. So what? As long as you can hear what I have to say. But coming back, it was a good feeling, but what's even better is that I set myself up even more so to be independent, for us to communicate in an independent manner 24/7 away from these people who want to execute their cancel culture and their censorship on us. And my thing is, I've canceled them. I use them, but I canceled them. I don't need them like that, okay? So at the end of the day, we're always going to be independent and grow and take our time. But I think it's going to be a good thing because we have it mapped out. Now, enough of that. I had a brother. I didn't look at the name now. I think it's a brother, right? Could be a sister, but it's a principal thing, so it doesn't really matter. They asked me, not exactly this way, but basically, how do you know your purpose? And or how do you find your purpose? And that's a tricky question, right? But in order to answer that, I can only speak about my own experiences. And for me, when you see me here doing these videos every day, working on different things and writing every day, and building a website and a presence online, independent from everybody else, can't say it enough. I didn't start out that way. I was a babe in the woods. I was wet behind the ears, and I've been online for 20 years. I'm 58 now, but I started out when I was 38 years old, right? And that was when? 2001. Didn't have a clue. As a matter of fact, things weren't even the way they are now. So what I started to learn is obsolete. I had to learn things all over again. But the way I am, the things I love to do, the person that I am, I never changed myself just to fit someone else's purpose. So why did I say that? Well, I say that because when we look at other people and we say, man, they're pretty good at this. They've been doing this for a while. Man, they were a mechanic. Now they own their own mechanic shop. Wow, they like to cook as a hobby. Now they have their own restaurant. Wow, they used to love navigation, and look at this person. Now they're flying planes. I would say, listen and dance to the beat of your own drummer. No matter how different it may be, and other people may call it weird, or other people may say, no, you don't want to go into that because you're not making that much money in that. They have a point, but what I will say is that do what you love, and understand, and this may sound strange to many people, that you are already in your purpose and you don't know it yet. You're already in your purpose and you don't know it yet. And it's almost like when I moved down to Florida from New York City, where I lived for 38 years of my life. That's when I moved down to Florida and started the website and all the stuff online. People said, man, you don't know anybody down there. I said, well, you can say that, but I have friends down there that I haven't met yet. You see, when it comes to your purpose, when it comes to going into a new endeavor, when it comes into getting into a new reality, you have to know that you know that you know that if you've lived life long enough, and even if you didn't live it long, you can look back and see where in life, maybe you were starting a new school, a new high school, middle school, elementary school, college. You were moving away to a different place and you didn't know anything. It was just so terrifying because they do things different than the way that you do things where you used to live. You're in a new relationship, and the relationship that you were in was so traumatic, and now it's not that way, but your guard is still up. You got to understand that one day the unknown will be known. One day what used to put a little fear into you, I'm not going to say or play like I'm a tough guy and say, oh, I never feel fear. I just know how to deal with fear. Many men run around, I'm fearless, I don't care. No. You can say that all you want to, right? I'm not a scaredy cat, I'm very brave. But you do feel the apprehension, you do feel the butterflies from this thing called fear when you're entering in the unknown. So when you're looking for your purpose, the best thing I can say, and maybe many people won't agree, but you're already in your purpose. You have to discover yourself from the inside. You have to try different things out and see what you like. I was always one to run my mouth and talk. I like to talk. So it works fine with YouTube, right? But this is not my career, YouTube. I utilize this for the other things that I do. But you take something that you love, you take something that you can do all day, every day, without flinching. That if money was no object, you can do it all day, every day. But in the world that we're in, trapped by the oppressor, where in order to pay the rent or the mortgage, we have to work and go on the job and 8 hours and 12 hours and double sometime, weekends sometime. It could be customer service and we don't like it, or entry level something, and we're young and the world looks so confusing. And even those old templates of success, now most of them can be thrown out of the window now because we're living in a different world. This is the COVID era. You know, people are not going into the jobs physically. They're working online, or people are walking off their jobs. The job's not paying enough. The economy seems like it's going to crash, and it probably will, and I also say this. But this is no reason to be fearful. This is no reason to not pursue your dreams and your vision on what your purpose is. You're walking in it right now. Well, let me explain. The person that you are now, you'll be a better version of yourself 1 year from now. You'll be an even better version of yourself 5 years from now. You'll be an even better version of yourself 10 and 20 years from now. But guess what? What you feel about yourself right now, those feelings most likely will be banished if you move forward to the future with positivity. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you are 20 right now and really haven't been an adult by law for so long, even though your awareness could have come into its own power, it's 6 years old, 8 years old, 10 years old, 12 with a 13. Whatever they say as far as, well, you're 18 now and you're an adult. You're 16 now and you're an adult. But you've been living life and you've been observing situations. And many of us have gone through things that have seasoned us to know a little bit more about life and how that cookie cutter template of how things should go. You go to school and you go to college and you get a good job when you get out of college, and then you meet someone when you get out, and you have children, and you buy this big house, and then you have children, and you work for so many years, you retire, and you go on vacations, or you relocate and downsize when your children, get older and they have grandchildren, and you do what you do, you retire, and then you die. That's the way it's supposed to go, right? That's what they've told us for so many years, and that's what so many people have followed. But tell me this, how many times have you see it play out like this? And if it did, more power to you. Statistically speaking, it will play out like that for many people, but I don't think it's going to play out like that for the majority of people. So no matter what happens to you in this life, you never let it discourage you, because you're going to have obstacles thrown at you. And I'm not saying this to discourage you. I'm just saying that you gotta love what you love so strong. You have to want to do what it is that you want to do so strongly, with so much passion and so much commitment, that as the obstacles are being thrown at you, you still find a way to do it. Even sometimes if you put it down for a little while, you're upset because you can't do it the way you want to do it, and you're gonna find a way to do it. That's your purpose. And sometimes for some, they find their purpose when they're 4 years old. They'll say, oh, I felt like I was going to be a great tennis player when I was 4 years old. There's some people who are like, I'm 44 years old and I haven't figured it out yet. I've been working on my life. Well, if you want to take a little inspiration, if you are, just like the person, family had asked me, and you'll probably see it in one of the comment sections of the video. I forgot what video it was. I think it was one of the Rooftop perspectives. That at 20 years old, I was a year from winning a national championship in bodybuilding, and it didn't do a damn thing for me. Didn't give me any money, but it's something that I loved at the time. But then the more and more I began to dig within myself, by the time I was 22 years old, I'm like, I don't want to do this. It wasn't like I quit, but I realized what it was. And then finding your purpose, you have to realize that you might go through different things that you think that you like, that you think that you're passionate about, that you think that you can do for the rest of your life. And you may find that it's a little different. Like, I lost my feel for that. But for me, I love to draw. I stopped for 20 years trying to play the game that everybody thought that I should play. Not a game, but you should do this, and you should go to school, and you should do this and that, and the relationships. My life, trust me, whoever's listening to this, my life, the life of LanceScurv, did not go like that. At one point, and like I said it before, I always thought, looking back, even a few years ago, not just a few, but a good amount of years ago, I look back on my life like it was an array of useless rags. I mean, rags that had weird colors, rags that were dirty, rags that were just shredded, just rags. The rag of this job that I did for 2 months and walked off, the rag of this relationship that didn't last long, the rag of where I lived, or the rag of something that I pursued and thought it was something that I really wanted to do. A bunch of useless rags. And while many other people had great resumes and they worked here and worked there and had this degree, I didn't have that. But I didn't feel bad about myself because I knew there was something inside of me that was speaking to me. There were seeds of greatness put inside of me by the Creator also. So I was no different, but my path was to be different. I did a lot of things that people said, well, that made you to the person that you are now. I did a lot of things that maybe I thought I wasted a lot of time with. The useless rags. Useless rags. They don't match in color. They don't match in size. They don't match in thickness. It's just a pile of useless rags. But guess what? Over time, I'm not even going to say I'm so brilliant and I learned to do this, but over time I found out that I had started to take those useless rags of odd colors and odd sizes and sew it together to make a beautiful quilt. The beautiful quilt that my life is now, and the beautiful quilt that my life has always been. Even when I didn't know my purpose, even when I never really doubted myself. I was just anxious because I'd go up a certain road and that's not going to work. I'd go up, it was very frustrating. It's like trying to find a matching pair of socks the day after Christmas in a department store. There's a supermarket over there. I looked at it and I pick up data sometime and just spew it right on out. So it's funny when I talk in my sleep because I can be talking about 5 different things at the same time and it makes no sense whatsoever. But anyway, learn to take those things that the world may say is a useless rag and use it to your advantage, even if you have to throw it down. Like, here's a rag right now, and I love this rag. I love it to wipe my face. It dries off real quick, and it has a little resistance to it. I love to scrub my face and scrub myself with it, and I have a bunch of them, but they're made for kitchen use. You see? So it may have had a purpose intended by the one who made it, but I took it and made it my own. So you can see people do other things that you may think in your youth or you not being exposed to life as much as it will be when you're a better model of yourself 5, 10, 15, 20 years of you being with yourself, trying yourself as an adult on to certain things to know. How many outfits have we tried on in the mall, in the clothing store, that we didn't buy? Much more than what we really bought. You don't put your hand on an item off the rack, for those who may have off the rack or customized, but that's regardless. Let's just take off the rack, which is no problem. You take it off the rack, you try it on, you say, I don't like this. You try a shirt on, you try some shoes, you try some slacks. For the ladies, you try a dress on, you try this, and you have a bunch of things, but you take one thing with you or two things with you, but you tried on 8, 9, 10 different things. Think of all the things you tried out that you never wore, that you never brought home, that when you really looked at it, you say, you know what, this is not worth me taking home. Think about those things. Those weren't a waste, it was an experience. I used to have piano lessons and I got pretty good. My parents invested in me to do so. I had guitar lessons for another year and I got pretty good, but I didn't like it. You know, I wanted to go into drama and they gave me some kind of drama lessons, but I'm naturally dramatic. I'm a natural actor. There's one thing about me, I always wanted to get into acting, and you know what? It's not too late. I will be doing that from here. I'm not talking about Hollywood, but my own creative little skits that I want to do very soon. They're doing them on Facebook. Why can't I do them too? Useless quilts. So I've gone through all of the useless quilts that life has offered me, and I've chiseled away at the things that I tried out. I chiseled away and removed the things that I did that was fun and I learned. But I know more about myself now at the age of 58, and the sky's the limit. Many people I know who are 50, 45, even 38, 20 years younger than me, they're through because of this. You're never through. And no matter what age you get to, and you may feel like, oh, I've been through a lot, you might just need a rest. You might just need a change of environment. You might just need something to rejuvenate your mind, to bring life into the things that are right in front of you, because it's usually us how we see life, because we've allowed others to come into our mind and discourage us because of their low standards. And let me just say this, be careful who you speak to when you think of your purpose, because many people who have never found their purpose, or many people who haven't found that delicious area of expertise that they want to get into, are going to advise you on what you should do, but they don't even know what the heck they should do or they want to do. They're just following the cookie cutter herd, the sheeple, but they want to tell you what you have inside of you. Nobody knows what you have inside of you, and I think the sad thing is that when you don't know, so you have to try yourself out against the world or against what the world has to offer. Try it out. If you fail, that's one less thing that you have to ponder, because in essence it's not a failure. You know what road not to walk up to, right? Or walk down. You know now even more so, I'm taking this away, I'm taking this away, and this is what remains. But look at yourself and see what it is that you like, because life is an amazing thing. Life is an amazing thing. I'm not trying to sound like somebody I'm not. I'm just telling you why. With 1 hour sleep that I had, and I don't make a habit of that, I will be up before that sun comes back around and comes up right up in that sky. I'm going to be up before it. I'm still going to do some things today and get some work done. Not well into the night, but just into the evening, and I'm going to crash because I deserve it. But you see, my mind was never held captive by those who have no vision. Never allow yourself to say, I guess this is it. Because if I allowed anyone, and there are many people who are around me who, oh, you shouldn't do what you do every day. You shouldn't do it as much. You should make the people miss you. Huh? This is in me to do YouTube and other things. What do you mean? What are you telling me? You mad because you can't keep up? I'm not racing against you. Or I've had other people who are naysayers, especially after getting here to Ghana, you're not in America no more, so, you need to let that go and just live your best life. My version of living my best life is not your version of living your best life. And how do you know you're living a version of your best life when your definition of it is just sitting down and smoking and drinking a Heineken and just talking about things you never experienced? There is so much out here to experience, even here in Ghana, which I can see the beauty of it and I can see the potential of it for me. And even before I came out here in 2019, I studied it. So this is something that I want to do. I was never influenced to come out here for anybody. I knew what it can do for my life. And I think the results are telling that I'm not even settled into my own construction yet, but I'm doing on this level in a very intense way. That when I do, oh, there's no stopping me, because I don't have to leave the mountains and rent a place and go down in the midtown, whatever. I'll be right there. And when I wake up, if I want to do something, if I go to the bathroom in the middle of the night and get a call, and, oh, let me go do a show, I'll make my own schedule. I'm not saying I'm going to do 10 creations a day, but it'll be very easy to do so if I want to. I'll go here where this tripod is and talk for 15 minutes. I'll go inside and write for an hour. I'll go and do a live show in front of the green screen and maybe a videotape over here. Look around, and I did 8 things a day. Wow, let me go take a nap before I go into the second part of my day. What I mean to say is that you can't let anybody limit you, and you have to think beyond your current circumstances. You see, when I was driving the bus in Orlando, Florida, and no knock to the people that I picked up, but if you want to see the times when I drove early, because I would usually start driving 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, well into the night, and I'd be the last one with the bus and bring it in. But if you want to see a picture-perfect definition of a lack of enthusiasm, no drive, no happiness as you start your day. This is why I didn't want to drive in the morning, because people had more enthusiasm coming home from work than they did going into work. But it shouldn't be about work, because when you're working for somebody else and you know what you're going to get paid, and there's no enthusiasm for certain things, and guess what? You lose it, right? And I didn't want that kind of life. And I would look in the rearview mirror and see these faces just looking so defeated, looking like they didn't know that the possibilities of the day could be so great to them. And so I've always been this way, where I was always aware of different realities, even if I lived in a place where I was. I was in Orlando, Florida, but my mind traveled. And I said, you know what? I don't like this reality anymore. I've been driving this bus. I make use of it. I met many people, but it's time for me to move on. I want to leave America. And I researched different places. For me, it wasn't a matter of running, because running doesn't do anything for you if you can't deal with yourself. And that's what we got to understand. Unless you clean up on the inside, no matter where you go, no matter how much of a utopia it is, it's not going to do you any good. So you've got to master yourself first. And going back to the purpose, you have to know what it is that you love and take it from there. You never know what opportunities will come your way. And so for me, I knew that coming here would be a better base and backdrop for the things I intend to do. I knew money would stretch more. I knew there's certain energies and certain people most likely I will never see again in my life, and I'm not mad for saying that. Certain energies collectively of groups of people that were nearby and they wanted to throw off on you. Well, what you gonna do now? You can't stop me. There's certain factions of energies out here that want to do the same thing, and I'm ready to tackle them, run around them, run over them, run under them, whatever. I have too much momentum right now, and at this point in my life, me knowing my purpose now, it feels so good and it keeps me young. Even at 1 hour of sleep, I have more enthusiasm than somebody half my age, because I found my purpose. But you have to understand that every experience that you have in this life is honing you and shaping you for your own purpose, right? Your unique purpose that doesn't have to fit into what the world has to offer as career or employment. You can be the one to set a trend that others follow, and never limit yourself. Look at what people do for a living and look at what they do as a passion, and figure out and talk to these people. It may not be the very thing that you want to get into, right? But you can see how they worked it with the passion that they have. I love to draw my pictures, and I love to be around other creative people when they do. You might be painting, I might be doing a very detailed ink illustration with a little bit of pencil for guidelines. Another person might be using clay to create something, but at the base, it's all energy. And that's the real deal. What kind of energy is around you? Positivity stokes positivity, right? There are people who will hate you for your enthusiasm, because it reveals how complacent they are to their life, and they know you're going places, and they know they're not going to put out that amount of effort, that commitment, and that stick-it-to-itiveness and passion, and you're going to find yourself so happy and so far up a road that they can never go to because of the state of their own mind. So they will formulate ways to come against you, not even want to be around you, not because they don't want to be around you. They understand that you're fabulous. They understand that you're dynamic. They understand that they're special. It's just that they haven't found out that they're dynamic, they're special, and they're a person who has seeds of greatness inside of them too. But we can't babysit them. You're already in your purpose. Learn all you can about the world around you, but never leave what it is that you love. Because you're going to find out that at the end of the day, no matter how much you've excelled and became a CEO of this company, or learned to fly a spaceship, or learned to work on somebody's brain and bring them back to a better life, that if that's not the thing that you're passionate about, it's never going to make you feel happy, and you won't go the extra mile with that. It's all about the extra mile. I'm standing in front of this tripod. I saw the positioning of the sun. I'm very inspired by what Brother Malik Aziz said in the show. Even Empress Ella G said some things in the show, and many in the chat room have said things in the show that inspired me. And here I am, physically fatigued. When I put this camera down and transfer everything to the computer and put the framework and everything and adjust everything post production, I'm going to head out. I could eat here, but I'm going to head out and sit down by my newly found favorite spot and enjoy a nice meal and come on in and work some more. Because this is the way I want to live my life. I don't have to ask anybody anything. I don't have to ask any of these people around me that are nice, and they're nice, and there's some who are sharks and vampires and vultures that I got rid of, and I never had to ask them anything. And everything is working out smooth, and I'm going to enjoy it because, like I said, you have a right to protect your happiness. You have a right to live a good life and never make it seem as though, well, it's just a privilege and, you know, they're allowing me. No. The Creator put you here for a purpose, and you will find it. It takes some of us a little longer, but don't be frustrated. Don't be discouraged. Always know that one day that time is going to come. Whether you're 20 years old or you're 58 and a half years old like me, when you get there, it won't feel like you had to wait for a very long time. It's only when you feel you don't know, and we're looking around everywhere else, and right in front of us is the answer. It was a couple years ago I said to myself, well, it wasn't a couple, like 2 years, right? But I asked myself, I said, you know what, Lance, what is it that's going to make you happy? What are the things that you like to do? Don't worry about if anybody thinks it's corny or something that's irrelevant. I'm not living my life according to somebody else's standards. And this is why I'm in my purpose, and there are new purposes behind that. That's the beautiful thing, that when you find that thing that is calibrated with you uniquely, and all of the things that other people say are weird about you work and they pop, you're going to find that the universe says, wow, we have an opening over here for this. You know, with your righteously weird self. Not saying you're weird, but people will say that. So I celebrate my weirdness. I'm not weird, but I say it like that to rub it in their face. Oh, he's strange, he's different, he's weird. The best people out here will call strange and different and weird. Strange and different and weird separates you from everybody else. I don't want to be part of this cookie cutter society where we wear our hair the same way. Yeah, there's a lot of bald black men out there. I've been doing this for a long time, even though I still grow hair. I'm afraid of what I might see. I know it's gray, you know, and I know it grows out, but maybe it grows out like Bozo. Who knows? I don't care. This is my signature style. I'm happy with that, right? But the things that make you different, the things that make you, instead of being or absorbing when they say strange, you say to yourself, I'm unique. If they say you're different, well, I'm marketable because I'm not like everybody else. You know, if you might be short, be happy with that and rock the shortness. You see, a lot of women sometimes, and a lot of men, yes, I'm tall, dark, and handsome, whatever. But I saw a young lady that couldn't have been no more than 5 feet. And she was gorgeous. I'm not saying on a lust level, but you can see that her spirit, and she stood up tall, and her chest was up. I'm not saying titties now. I'm just saying her chest was pushed out. She was upright. She was attentive. I walked past her. She smiled, not in a lustful way, but I'm just so happy to be alive. You take the things that the world throws at you and says, oh, this is a flaw, this is bad, this is this. They can't stop your energy, especially when you use your energy properly for righteous things and for that growth internally. Stop trying to keep up with fashions and put stuff on your head and have this and that, and I'm gonna wear this outfit like this, and I'm gonna be cool like him. Be cool in your own way. Right now, I'm not hung up on myself, and I've had, like I said, people in the past who didn't like my budding confidence, which I've always had confidence, and I'm always going to have confidence, and they would say, oh, you're a narcissist, you're stuck on yourself. No, I'm not. I'm confident, and you must be unapologetically confident in your weirdness, in your strangeness, in your being different, because it's in that you will find your purpose. You can take cues from people who have done things before in different areas that you might not even want to be into, as long as it's about enthusiasm and commitment and a passion. But your own thing, that's for you to figure out, and you will figure it out as long as you stay true to yourself. Because like I said, I asked myself, what are the things that I want to do, or I like to do? I like to lift weights. Not heavy. I used to try the heavy stuff, but I was always a bodybuilder, sculpture my body. I want to get into that, not because I want to even walk around like I'm buff, because even my friend Kevin told me, my brother Kevin, right? He said, man, Lance, when you were heavy into bodybuilding, you never walked around half naked. You never walked around showing your arms and your chest, and you were really developed. He said, people would say, hey, why do you keep yourself? And I say, nah, I don't like doing that. When I'm at a competition, or if I have to go to the beach or whatever, or I'm home, I'm going to walk around a certain way. But I knew that was an extension of me because of my spirit, but the body wasn't me, right? So I don't have to rev the Lamborghini engine if I drive a Lamborghini to prove that the Lamborghini is fast. You already know it's fast. When you take one look at me, you can always or pretty much assess how I would react in certain situations. I don't have to walk around acting tough. I don't have to walk around to try to intimidate and walk this way. No, there's too much energy, man. I like to be myself. I'm happy being LanceScurv. I'm happy honing myself into the best version of me that I can be. I'm happy and I'm at peace this way. And when you're at peace, you see what's inside of you even more. So take some time. I can't tell you whether it's a day or a weekend or a week or a month or even 6 months. And listen to that inner voice and walk with yourself. Take a walk and don't take a walk and say, well, I don't have anybody next to me. I wish I was walking with somebody. Get to know yourself even more. You can never go wrong by doing that. Look within. It's all there. And try what you find within with the outside world and see, that doesn't favor me. I didn't enjoy that. That didn't fit. Like the different shoes that you'd get, and you say, okay, they're all the same size that I wear. I got 5 shoes to try on, but 2 of them felt right. The other 3 didn't feel right, right? So out of those 2, when you put them on again, they both feel right, but I like the way these look. And you walk out with the one pair of shoes that fit you. Doesn't mean you can't get other shoes, right? But that one pair that agrees with you at that shopping trip that you did, you feel good about your purpose. Stop trying on too many shoes that belong to other people or that they say that you should be wearing. And you walk away uncomfortable and not feeling sensitive. Stop doing that. Be unique. Be yourself. Learn and try out things and see what you like, but always go with what you love. Because if you go with what you love, it's a different kind of energy. It's not an obligation to a parent. It's not what your loved one or your mate says you should do. Even if you have to work a job, it doesn't mean that the job you have is what you love. You're doing that to pay the bills, but take a little bit of time, an hour or 2, and pursue your craft. Study up about it. We got YouTube. You can Google things. You can search things and learn a little more. You can talk to people all over the world, see what opportunities are all over the world. I know a lot of people out here right now. Doesn't mean I'm trying to be Mr. Popularity. But anywhere time I go to the mall or down certain streets, I always see someone, Lance, I love your videos. Lance, I love what you do. Thank you so much. My love for what I do has superseded me being the bus driver in Orlando, Florida. And I can see now who appreciates no matter where I go. And that makes me want to do more because I'm a servant for my people. I'm a voice box. I'm a creative person. I can see certain things and bring and articulate through the artwork or the writing or the videos certain things that people want to say, but they may not have the words to say it. Or if they do, they may want to see it in a silent way through a visual. So that's what I do. It brings me great joy because you can't take everything with you. You must utilize your gift, find your purpose, and use it to benefit the humanity around you. Use it to benefit your people, motivate them and lift them up no matter where they are. And I want to thank the brother who gave me love in the comments section, who is a Ghanaian but lives in the UK. Thank you so much. These types of things let me know that, the things that I've shared, that I've learned, I don't own them. I didn't create them, but they're just certain principles that I've learned over the years, not on how to live, and I'm telling you how to live, but I just say what works for me. Now, you may try it out and say, well, that didn't work for me. Toss it out. Like I always say, take the good and leave what doesn't work for you. You know when you're full at the dinner table. You might have thought that you can eat up a whole lot of food, but your body tells you, hey, you finished this half a plate. But it ain't gonna work that way. I'm full, I'm happy. You push the plate back, you get a doggy bag and go home. So that's how I approach that thing of finding my purpose, because I know that even though I'm on this level, there's other purposes that I have to fulfill, other things that I must do behind this. Because the craft that you get into deep, that you're committed to, will spawn other things. Other doors will open. Other people will have a need and see what you offer and come up with something unique from it. That's a little different. You're like, hey, I never knew I can do that. And there'll be a trust and a respect out of what you already do that's transferable, because they know that you have the talent and or the willpower and the intellect and the passion to manifest something that other people don't see. And that's the key. Manifesting something from within that others right now may not be able to see. The ones with the trained eye will see it and say, you got something going on there. But for those who don't, you don't listen to them. As long as you feel centered and at peace with yourself. Because when you get that pair of shoes that feels good, it's only because you tried them on and you knew they feel good, right? But when you have that pair of shoes at home and they don't feel right, it's only because you let somebody else influence you to say, well, you say they don't feel right, but they look really good. You need to get those. And, okay, now you're walking around and the shoes feel like little scuba, the scuba flips, a little scuba outfit. You're probably walking backwards. They don't even fit right. You try to run and you run out your shoe. It don't fit right. Pebbles get inside there and you got to take your shoe off and throw the pebble out because you didn't listen to the voice on the inside that you have. That never lies to you. Nobody else knows you more than you. Never go against yourself. Even if you doubt or don't know, step back and take time knowing that you make the final decision on your life and no one else. So finding your purpose, the knowledge you learn today, you'll use it for when you're more in your purpose. The misjudgments that you did yesterday and today will help you. So there is no flaws or no mistakes. If you take it the right way, you chisel away all the things you don't need and save what you need, and you'll be the best version of yourself each and every day. And you must look forward to that, even if it seems like you had a bad day. There is no such thing as a bad day. If you can say you had a bad day, that's an opportunity for you to look why you call it a bad day and say, you know what, these are the factors involved that made it a bad day, so I'm going to take away those factors that made it bad, and most likely tomorrow will be better. You understand? And certain situations take a little time day to day, but you can always make it better. Always. It's a shame. I worked in corrections for a few years, in prisons and in jails. You all know that. And I just find it so sad that we have people who are walking around, and we know in this system of oppression, we're not really free. But for the sake of the point, let's just say we're free. We can go to the store if we want. We can go here. We know that the money we make is decided by somebody else. If we work for somebody else, all those things. I'm not going to split hairs with that. But I've sat down with people that they call inmates, and I hate to use that word. And many of you who listen might have been at one time or still might be. And I've seen more enthusiasm from those who are incarcerated to have the hope for the future, to have the drive for the future. They say, you know what, I'm in here for 10 years. I'm going to study and learn and be a master of something. By the time I get out, I'll be protected. I'm not saying that you want to go there, but you make the best of what the world would call a bad situation. There was a song, what was it, by Gladys Knight and the Pips. It was more than one Pip, right? And the name of the song was Making the Best of a Bad Situation, Keep On Keeping On. I really got to use my situation to get a good reason to keep on keeping on. Now, maybe I jacked the words up because I used to love that song. And the beat, dun, 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 dun. You know, I got to keep on keeping on. Those are the things I used to listen to, and it would get me roused up because I was raised in a positive, nurturing home. So things like that I latched on to, and I loved it, and it resonated with me. And so, like I said, take the good. I won't call the rest bad, but just discard of what you can't use. Get as much knowledge as you can. Seek out the positive people. Meditate and talk with yourself every day. Stay with what you like. And again, I didn't answer the question when I said what it is that I like. I like drawing. I like riding my bike, riding my unicycle or one-wheel bike. I have one down there. I can do it any day now. I'm not going to come on the roof now and fall off the bike and fall off the edge, right? But I will do it on the ground. But the bottom line is, those are the things I like that bring joy to my heart regardless of the circumstances. So I say, you know what? I need to live a life where I can do this every day. That I'm not too busy running around the treadmill and paying bills and come home too tired, too much asleep, and got to commute for this long time and supervisors on your back. And I had to envision a different life. And as I checked out different countries, this one won. And guess what? I'm here. Oh man, you too old to go make no big change like that, man. Well, how the rest of your family gonna feel? How so and so? No, you're born alone. You die alone, and your path is only yours. Not to sound gory, but that's the bottom line. And all in between now is an experience that you experience with people, but it doesn't mean that they're shackled at the hip. No. So you got to experience this life for yourself. I'm going to go out soon. I'm going to experience things. I'm going to enjoy certain things. Who knows? I have my camera with me. If something comes across my path, then guess what? I'll share it with you. This is what I do. But I have an enthusiasm for every single day that comes because I don't know what it's going to bring. We can think gory, but there's a lot of goodness out in the world if you bring that kind of energy. And if you make yourself a positive lightning rod in this life, the universe and its creator will keep you around longer because you have use, that you're not sitting there and envious of what the next person has, and you're mad at your childhood because your father and mother didn't show you love. Then you show yourself love. You find somebody to give love to and receive it from them. You're not your past. You're not your upbringing unless it's something positive. If it's something negative, you are not that. I can't say I'm not that because, like I said, my upbringing was pretty, and we weren't rich people. But the connectedness and the love and the encouragement to do all that I wanted to do. I used to sit down and draw these pictures for hours and play my music. And I thank my parents for giving me that atmosphere for me to grow. That put me ahead in many ways, but in the world it didn't, because the world can be shark-infested and evil and all these things. When I found the beauty inside of me, you can't keep me away from me. You can't cut me off from something good across town when the best thing that is inside of me. And I have so much of this goodness, I want to share it with the world. I didn't script this video. I know where I wanted to start, and I started talking. I don't have to sit here, and I'm reading the teleprompter, and so, the stiff neck. No, I'm relaxed. I'm hungry though. I'm gonna go. I can sit here for the next 3 hours. I got the light. The sun went behind the mountain, so I have a light already on. So as it gets darker, which it doesn't look dark to you, but it keeps my face illuminated. Anyway, I hope that you got something out of it. And my family who asked that question, I hope I helped you a little bit. If you want me to go in a little more precise, I can. But I said, let me do it in a generalized way, since it was a generalized question. And not that I know everything, but anything I know, I'm here to share it. I have wonderful people around me, like earlier today, Malik Aziz, who really gave us some wonderful stories that you'll never see in the white man's media, right? Because they want to paint some of us as being evil or bad, or, you know, we're toxic or whatever have you. Get to know a person for yourself. Get to see what their path is. And when you're cutting a good path, chances are that's a good brother or a good sister, no matter what the world says about them. And again, like I say, for the naysayers in your life, continue to build a great body of work, no matter what it may be. Whether it's internal, external, but continue to shine, continue to produce, because you will make them burn up in their own juices, in their own stew, and fry up in their own complacency. Every day is an opportunity to go higher. Every day is an opportunity to go deeper from within. And I'm not going to waste a day from this point forward. And I want you to think the same way. LanceScurv out. Much love to you. Salute to my brothers. Much love to my sisters and all of my family. And you are my family if you're positive. You're not my family if you're negative and venomous. And I know who those people are, and that's why I do not deal. Life is long when you do the right thing, but you shorten it by your indulgence with people who don't want to go anywhere, don't want to see you go anywhere, and they want to see you fail and fall behind a Colgate smile. You don't need that in your life, and I don't need it either. Anyway, leave your comments and let me see what you wrote and how you feel about what I said. And we'll continue on and pick some subjects for me to talk about, and we'll roll on and have some fun on this thing called social media. But never forget to go to LanceScurv.com. That's where everything that I do will be there. That is my creative garbage can. Not that the stuff that I create is garbage, but everything's tossed in there. So if you don't see us anywhere else, go there, LanceScurv.com. Okay? Thanks so much, and I'm going to tear this food up.